Welcome back to your English listening practice. Today, we are diving into 3 fascinating mysteries of science that affect our daily lives. How our brain dreams, how it competes with artificial intelligence, and how it creates habits. This 15-minute podcast is designed to help you improve your vocabulary, comprehension, and grammar. Relax, focus, and let's explore the world of science together. For centuries, people believed that sleep was a passive state. It was thought that when we close our eyes, the brain simply shuts down to rest until the morning. However, modern neuroscience has proven that the opposite is true. When you fall asleep, your brain does not turn off. It switches to a completely different mode of intense activity. Think of your brain during the day as a busy office filled with workers making a mess. When you go to sleep, the workers leave and the night cleaning crew arrives. This cleaning process is vital. Scientists discovered that during sleep, a special system in the brain flushes away metabolic waste and toxic proteins that build up while you are awake. Without this biological cleanup, your brain cannot function properly the next day. The most mysterious part of sleep is, of course, dreaming. We all dream, even if we do not remember it in the morning. Most vivid dreams happen during a specific stage called REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement. During this stage, your body is completely paralyzed, but your brain is almost as active as it is when you are awake. Why do we see strange and sometimes chaotic dreams? Evolutionarily, dreaming is not just random entertainment. It is a psychological therapy session. During REM sleep, the brain processes emotional experiences from your past days. It separates the facts from the emotions, helping you calm down and recover from stressful events. In other words, dreams help your mind digest information and protect your mental health. An incredible phenomenon that happens during this stage is called lucid dreaming. This is a state where a person becomes completely aware that they are dreaming while they are still asleep. During a lucid dream, you can actually control the plot, fly through skies, or explore imaginary worlds. Scientists are studying this because it shows that our consciousness can function independently from our physical environment. Now, let's consider what happens when we do not get enough rest. Sleep deprivation is incredibly dangerous for both the mind and the body. When you miss sleep, your reaction time slows down, your ability to make safe decisions drops, and your stress hormones increase significantly. In fact, staying awake for 24 hours straight affects your brain in the exact same way as being legally drunk. Your focus disappears, and your emotional control weakens. If you are currently studying English, preparing for exams like IELTS, or learning a new skill, sleep is your absolute best friend. There is a strong scientific connection between sleep and learning. When you study during the day, new information is stored in a temporary area called the short-term memory. This area has very limited space, like a small desk. During deep sleep, the brain performs a process called consolidation. It takes the important pieces of information from your day, replaces them, and transfers them into the long-term memory, where they can be stored forever. If you stay up all night studying instead of sleeping, your temporary memory remains full, and the new data is easily forgotten. Therefore, getting 8 hours of sleep is just as important as the hours you spend reading books. Furthermore, scientists have found that even a short 20-minute daytime nap can reset your learning capacity. This is often called a power nap. It acts like a quick reboot for your mental desktop, instantly restoring your focus and improving your listening skills. So if you want to master English effectively, remember that resting is not a waste of time. It is a critical part of the modern educational process. To get the maximum benefit, try reviewing your new English vocabulary lists right before you go to bed. When you do this, those words become the freshest data in your mind, forcing your brain to prioritize them for long-term storage during the night. Now that we understand how our biological computer reboots itself through sleep, let's explore how it compares to the digital computers of today. Now, let's move on to our second fascinating topic, artificial intelligence versus the human brain. Today, it seems like everyone is talking about AI. Programs can write essays, create stunning artwork, and even generate complex computer code in just a few seconds. Because of this lightning-fast progress, many people are starting to worry. They ask themselves, will artificial intelligence become smarter than humans? And should we actually be afraid of it? To answer this question, we need to look at the numbers. If we talk about pure calculations and speed, AI already wins. It can process millions of gigabytes of data in a single second. However, if we look at how the human brain actually operates, we will see that our biological computer is still far ahead of any machine. Let's start with a truly surprising fact about energy efficiency, which is a real biological miracle. To train and run a massive artificial intelligence model, tech companies need enormous data centers. These computers require a huge amount of electricity, sometimes as much as a whole medium-sized town. In contrast, let's look at the human brain. Your brain controls your entire body, stores your childhood memories, feels deep emotions, and learns a foreign language all at the same time. And how much power does it need for all of this? It needs only about 20 watts of power. That is less energy than a single dim light bulb in your room uses. No modern supercomputer can match this incredible, brilliant efficiency. Modern machines are extremely fast, but they are incredibly hungry for electricity, while the human brain is perfectly optimized by nature. But energy is not the only advantage we have. The second major difference between humans and machines is true understanding. AI copies human logic in a similar way. Humans, on the other hand, possess unique creativity. We can think outside the box, feel empathy, and create completely original ideas out of nothing. AI can combine old information to make something look new, but it cannot invent a fundamentally new human experience. Furthermore, humans have the ability to adapt to completely unknown situations instantly, without needing a massive database update. Your brain can see a problem it has never encountered before and invent a creative solution using logic and intuition. AI cannot do this. If a situation is not in its training data, it easily fails. Therefore, instead of fearing artificial intelligence, we should learn to use it as a powerful tool to make ourselves stronger. It is an excellent assistant, but the human brain remains the most complex, beautiful, and mysterious machine in the universe. Another incredible advantage of the human brain is its ability to learn from a single example. This is called one-shot learning. For instance, if a child sees a tiger once, or even just looks at a picture of it, they will instantly recognize all other tigers in the future. They can do this even if the animal is moving, in a dark forest, or drawn in a cartoon style. AI requires thousands of high-resolution images of tigers to achieve the same result. This means our brain is deeply optimized for deep understanding with minimal data. Machines, however, are completely dependent on massive amounts of clean information. If you give an AI a problem with slightly corrupted data, it can make absurd mistakes that a human child would never make. Furthermore, the human brain possesses emotional intelligence. We can read between the lines, detect sarcasm, and understand subtle changes in a person's tone of voice. Hey, I can analyze the literal meaning of words, but it cannot truly feel the emotions behind them. It cannot experience joy when it solves a difficult problem, nor can it feel empathy for a human who is going through a hard time. This emotional connection is what makes human communication unique and irreplaceable. Teachers, doctors, and artists will always be essential because their work relies heavily on these deep, emotional human connections. In conclusion, the battle between artificial intelligence and the human brain is not about who is better. It is about how they can cooperate. AI can handle the boring, repetitive tasks and massive calculations, freeing up our time. This allows us to focus on what we do best, thinking creatively, building relationships, and exploring new horizons. Our biological computer has a million-year head start, and its potential is still limitless. Finally, let's explore our third fascinating topic, the science of habits and how your brain gets motivated. Have you ever wondered why it is so easy to spend hours scrolling through short videos or playing video games, but so difficult to sit down and study English for just 30 minutes? The answer lies in a powerful chemical produced in your brain called dopamine. Many people think dopamine is the pleasure hormone, but that is actually a myth. In reality, dopamine is the molecule of anticipation and craving. It is released not when you get a reward, but when you expect to get one. This chemical is an evolutionary tool designed to make you take action. When your brain learns that a certain activity gives you a quick, effortless reward, it floods your system with dopamine. This creates an intense desire to repeat that action over and over again, forming a powerful daily habit. Modern applications and digital entertainment are perfectly engineered to exploit this system. Every time you scroll to a new video or complete a simple gaming quest, your brain receives an unpredictable reward. This constant, unpredictable stimulation keeps your dopamine levels incredibly high. As a result, normal activities like reading a book or practicing grammar start to feel extremely boring because they require real effort. This state is often called dopamine overload. When your brain is constantly stimulated by high dopamine activities, your attention span shrinks and your long-term focus disappears. However, the good news is that you can actually rewrite this code and hack your brain for success. This process is known as a dopamine detox or resetting your habits. By intentionally limiting quick rewards, you can teach your biological computer to enjoy difficult tasks again. To build a successful study habit, you need to use the standard habit loop: a cue, a routine, and a reward. First, create a clear cue. For example, study English at the exact same time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This consistency builds a neural pathway. Second, make the routine as easy as possible. Tell yourself that you will only practice for 10 minutes. Once you overcome the friction of starting, continuing becomes much easier. Third, always give yourself a healthy reward after finishing your routine. This could be a short walk, a healthy snack, or a few minutes of your favorite game. By linking the hard work of learning to a conscious reward, you train your dopamine system to motivate you automatically. Over time, the routine becomes completely effortless, and your brain begins to enjoy the process of making daily academic progress. In conclusion, your brain is an incredibly adaptable and dynamic system. Whether it is cleaning itself during deep sleep, outperforming supercomputers with minimal energy, or building powerful habits through dopamine, your mind has limitless potential. By understanding the basic science behind your actions, you can stop fighting against your biology and start using it to achieve your goals. Keep practicing, keep learning, and see you in the next episode. That is all for today's episode of English Listening Practice. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and investing in your education. I hope you found these scientific insights useful and motivating. Remember, consistency is the ultimate key to mastering any new language or skill. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss our upcoming episodes. Keep practicing, keep learning, and stay curious. Have a wonderful day, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Goodbye.